Natural remedies for anxiety. What your doctor never told you. Your anxiety medication might be treating a symptom while the actual cause sits untouched in your kitchen cabinet. 40 million Americans struggle with anxiety every single year. And most of them are never told that 3 natural compounds have clinical evidence behind them that rivals some pharmaceuticals. Not folk medicine, not wellness influencer advice, peer-reviewed research. Today, we go through all of it. Here is what the conventional model gets wrong. Anxiety is treated almost exclusively as a brain chemistry problem. Low serotonin, dysregulated GABA, overactive amygdala. And while that framework isn't wrong, it's incomplete. What it misses is the body's physical infrastructure that either supports or undermines your nervous system every single day. Things like mineral levels, gut bacteria, cortisol patterns, and inflammation markers. Fix those, and many people find their anxiety drop significantly, sometimes without any medication at all. Source: NIH National Library of Medicine, pubmed.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. Magnesium, the anxiety mineral. Let's start with the most underappreciated nutrient in mental health: magnesium. 68% of Americans are deficient in it, and magnesium is directly involved in regulating your HPA axis. That's the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which is the system that controls your stress response. When magnesium is low, your cortisol rises. When cortisol rises, your magnesium depletes further. It becomes a self-reinforcing loop. A 2017 systematic review published in the journal Nutrients analyzed 18 studies and concluded that magnesium supplementation was associated with significant reductions in subjective anxiety measures in individuals who were deficient. The dose that consistently showed results: 300 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate daily. Glycinate is the most bioavailable form. It crosses the blood-brain barrier efficiently and doesn't cause the digestive issues that magnesium oxide does. Food sources: pumpkin seeds, dark leafy greens, dark chocolate, almonds. But for most people who are already deficient, food alone won't move the needle fast enough. Supplementation is the more reliable route. One more thing about magnesium that almost nobody talks about: it's a cofactor for over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including the conversion of tryptophan to serotonin. Without adequate magnesium, your body literally cannot produce serotonin at full capacity. That's the connection most doctors miss entirely. Ashwagandha, the cortisol reset. The second compound is ashwagandha, and this one has some of the most compelling clinical data of any adaptogen ever studied. Adaptogens are a class of herbs that help the body resist physiological and psychological stress. Ashwagandha is classified as one because it modulates the HPA axis, the same system magnesium targets, but through a different mechanism. It acts on cortisol receptors and appears to downregulate the stress response at the source. In a 2019 double-blind, placebo-controlled trial published in Medicine, 240 milligrams of ashwagandha extract taken daily for 60 days resulted in a 41% reduction in perceived stress scores compared to placebo. Cortisol levels in the treatment group dropped by nearly 23%. These are pharmaceutical-level numbers from a root that has been used in Ayurvedic medicine for over 3,000 years. Source: NIH National Library of Medicine, pubmed.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. The active compounds are called withanolydes, and they appear to mimic GABA, the brain's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter. GABA is essentially your nervous system's braking mechanism. Benzodiazepines like Xanax work by enhancing GABA activity. Ashwagandha appears to do something similar through a gentler, non-addictive pathway. Important note: ashwagandha is not recommended for pregnant women or people with thyroid disorders without medical supervision. If you fall into either category, speak to your doctor first. The gut-brain connection. Here's the one that surprises people the most. 90% of your body's serotonin is produced not in your brain, but in your gut. The gut and brain communicate via the vagus nerve, a two-way highway that runs from your brainstem down through your digestive system. Researchers now call this the gut-brain axis, and it may be the missing piece in anxiety treatment that conventional medicine almost entirely ignores. A 2019 meta-analysis in the journal General Psychiatry reviewed 21 studies and found that probiotic interventions, specifically strains of Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium, were associated with significant reductions in anxiety symptoms. The mechanism. These bacteria produce GABA, serotonin precursors, and short-chain fatty acids that reduce neuroinflammation. Neuroinflammation increasingly is being recognized as a driver of anxiety disorders. Source: NIH National Library of Medicine, pubmed.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. What does this mean practically? Two things. First, eat fermented foods daily. Yogurt with live cultures, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha. Second, consider a quality probiotic with at least 10 billion CFU containing both Lactobacillus acidophilus and Bifidobacterium longum. Give it 8 weeks minimum. The gut microbiome doesn't change overnight. L-theanine, calm without sedation. The fourth compound is L-theanine, an amino acid found almost exclusively in green tea leaves. This one is particularly interesting because of what it does not do. It doesn't sedate you, it doesn't impair cognitive function, it doesn't cause withdrawal. What it does is promote alpha brainwave activity, the same state associated with relaxed alertness, like the feeling of being in flow. A 2019 randomized controlled trial found that 200 milligrams of L-theanine daily for 4 weeks significantly reduced self-reported stress and anxiety, improved sleep quality, and enhanced cognitive performance in adults with mild anxiety. The mechanism involves modulation of serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, hitting multiple pathways simultaneously. The practical advantage of L-theanine over other compounds: it works within 30 to 60 minutes. This makes it useful both as a daily supplement and as an acute intervention before high-stress situations, a presentation, a difficult conversation, a flight. Effective dose: 100 to 400 milligrams. You can get meaningful amounts from 2 to 3 cups of high-quality green tea per day or supplement directly. Many people stack it with caffeine in a 2:1 ratio, L-theanine to caffeine, which smooths out the jitteriness of caffeine while keeping the focus. The protocol. Let's put this into a practical framework, because information without application is just noise. Morning: 300 milligrams magnesium glycinate with breakfast. 200 milligrams L-theanine with your first coffee or tea. This sets up your nervous system for the day. Evening: 240 to 300 milligrams ashwagandha extract with dinner. Evening timing matters. Ashwagandha's cortisol-lowering effect is most relevant when cortisol should be rally declining. Daily, fermented foods with at least 1 meal or a probiotic supplement taken at the same time each day. 2 things this protocol does not replace: sleep and movement. No supplement stack in the world compensates for chronic sleep deprivation or a sedentary lifestyle, both of which are primary drivers of anxiety that are fully within your control. Give this protocol a minimum of 6 weeks before evaluating results. Anxiety physiology does not change in days. Consistency is the variable that almost everyone underestimates. What to watch for? A few things worth knowing before you start. Quality matters enormously in the supplement industry. Look for third-party tested products: NSF certified, USP verified, or informed sport. These certifications mean an independent lab confirmed the label matches what's actually in the capsule. Magnesium glycinate and magnesium malate are the superior forms. Avoid magnesium oxide. Poor absorption mostly ends up in your gut. For ashwagandha, look for KSM 66 or sensoril on the label. These are standardized extracts with the actual research behind them, not generic powder. If you are currently on psychiatric medication, do not stop or reduce your dosage without working with your prescribing physician. These compounds can be complementary, used alongside medication as your body stabilizes. Or they can be explored as a primary approach under medical supervision. That decision belongs to you and your doctor. If you want a convenient starting point, I'll leave a link below to some of the specific products I've researched that meet these quality standards. They're available on iHerb, one of the few supplement retailers that requires third-party testing from their vendors. But you can also find quality options at any reputable health food store. Anxiety is real. The suffering is real. And the conventional approach, while sometimes necessary, is not the only path available to you. The compounds we covered today have decades of research behind them, accessible price points, and safety profiles that have been studied extensively. The question isn't whether these work. The research answers that. The question is whether you're willing to address the physical foundation of your nervous system, not just the symptoms it's producing. If what we covered today surprised you, wait until you see what circadian rhythm disruption is doing to your cortisol levels. That one goes even deeper. Subscribe and hit the bell. That video is coming next. This content is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider before making changes to your health routine.